Welcome to Central News, I'm Amy Forrest. In today's news, as part of the International Race Relations Day celebrations, the historic village will see many international dancers as part of the annual Multicultural Festival. The Tauranga Region Multicultural Council has run the event for the past 14 years to promote the diversity in the city. President Ewa Fien says there will be cultural dances, many types of international food, music and plenty of entertainment for the kids.
Multicultural Festival is one of the nicest, brightest, more exciting even in Tauranga. We have the historic village is absolutely full of people. We've got events going the whole day, everywhere, not only on the stage. We've got performers going around the village. We're going to have stilt walkers, fire blowers, dances, costume parade, lots of food, interesting food to eat, and lots of interesting people to meet. So please come and enjoy the day.
The Tauranga Enviro Hub is holding a month-long sustainable backyard project for the month of March. They are holding workshops throughout the month on all things gardening and sustainable environment, as well as events on environmental issues. Noel Peterson, a trustee of the Enviro Hub, says with the way the world is now, it is more important than ever to get in amongst the worms.
I think one of the keys to sustainability, Hillary, and the future of our sustainable gardens, and I guess for our future is to get involved in worm farming. It's the perfect fertiliser that they produce for the plants. They turn plants into plant food.
The forecast of settled weather is expected to be dampened this weekend, with the Met Service forecasting rain for Tauranga on Sunday. The drought-stricken region is set to receive a showering of rain on Sunday, accompanied by northerlies. Media and Communications meteorologist Dan Corbett says Tropical Cyclone Sandra formed last week over the warm waters of the Coral Sea and is currently tracking towards New Caledonia. Now for our region's weather. Hamilton, you can look forward to another sunny day on Friday with a high of 25 and a low of 12. And Tauranga, the odd cloudy period for you with a high of 23 and a low of 16. Just ahead, turning blood meal into plastic. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. A local Waikato scientist has recently discovered the formula for turning blood meal into plastic. I caught up with him to delve deeper.
Blood meal is a co-product of the meat industry. They, after slaughtering animals, the raw blood is taken to a rendering facility at which they basically just dry it out and powderize it, and then it's sold as fertilizer or as animal feed in some cases. It's not so common as animal feed because we've got legislation that prevents same species feed to be used, but it's actually quite a valuable product. Even as it is, as blood meal one, it's quite surprising, isn't it?
So tell us about your recent project and how blood meal is involved with this.
Now, blood meal is a protein, so as you can think, raw blood is mostly protein, and then it's dried out. And a protein is nothing else than a polymer. And a plastic, as we know it, like polyethylene and from milk bottles and those, are just also polymers. And that's where the connection comes in. You say, well, can you make a plastic from a protein? Because it is a polymer. And the answer was yes, and that's where this came from. So we take the protein that is blood meal, and then we put it through our proprietary process and turn it into a plastic material.
So how is this possible? What is the process?
Well, the process is actually simpler than you might think. You start with this powder that is really, really dry, and then we take additives in a specific combination to encourage it to go soft when you heat it up. And as it turns soft, we can put it through an extruder. And an extruder is, in simple terms, similar to what you'd think of a sausage machine. And it just pushes the material forward while it melts it. And then it comes out through a little die, which makes your plastic. And then we cut it up in small pieces before we can shape it. And once we shape it, once we can shape it, we can turn it into whatever we want, really. Examples would be things like the weed mat pegs and other articles that can be used in, say, the agricultural industry, like vine clips, or I dare to say plant pots. But those, just anything that you can think of that could be injection molded can be used for our material.
Now, Darren, what are you hoping that this plastic material will be used for?
So we're hoping that it can be used for any article really where properties of biodegradability and compostability are high on a list. So applications in the agricultural, horticultural space, as Johan indicated, would be high on our agenda. There are lots of plastic articles that are being used in the meat processing industry which are problematic, and that we believe that there are opportunities to replace existing plastic articles in there with a Novatene derived article.
So what advantages does this plastic have over other plastic materials?
Well, notably against petrochemical plastics, which are non-degradable, if you like, or non-compostable, certainly not being able to meet those standards in a lot of cases, is that ours is. And it comes from a natural resource, it comes from a rendered byproduct. It has all the ingredients of composting quite quickly. In fact, in university studies, it loses half of its mass in around 12 weeks. So we know that it biodegrades quite rapidly, and we expect that we'll be able to meet the standards for composting and biodegradation for those. So, Novatene is similar to other bioplastics in that regard, in that bioplastics are generally accepted to be compostable and biodegrade. I guess one of our unique selling points is that we're starting off with a relatively cheap feedstock, and it's an inexpensive manufacturing process. And if you're looking at other bioplastics, they tend to involve quite complex and intensive manufacturing processes. So we can set ourselves apart from those plastics in some respects by offering maybe a less expensive option.
Johan, what challenges did you face in this project?
Well, the first challenge was to actually make anything of blood meal, because we had this wonderful resource that was sitting there in abundance. But I recall very clearly the first time we tried processing it and the entire extruder just blocked, and we nearly had to chisel the material out from our instruments. Since then it's come a long way, and we can now easily process it. So that was our biggest challenge, and I think in the initial stages I would say that funding would have been a huge restriction, or manpower then. We were very fortunate that a large number of students, national and international, have worked on the project, some funded by the university and some funded by industry. And but with recent events we've managed to overcome most of those challenges, and are now sort of on the brink of good commercialisation.
So Darren, tell me, who is this project funded and supported by?
Well, in my other role as commercial manager for Waikato Link, the project's really been managed by that organisation, and funding is achieved through central government's Pre-Seed Accelerator Fund. And that was managed through, or accessed through KiwiNet. And so we've had in excess of around $140,000 of funding from that organisation to put towards research and development and commercialisation.
And Darren, how was this project supported and funded?
So more recently we've had Wallace Corporation come on as a major investor in Aduro Biopolymers. And they've come on board to fund the company through for the next 2 years or so. So it's a substantial amount of investment that enables us to start with 2 full-time employees, enables us to fast-track some research and development. So that's a welcome partner that we've come on board. Prior to that, we had an investment through the central government's Pre-Seed Accelerator Fund. That was to the tune of around $140,000 over about 18 months.
I look forward to seeing how this project develops. Up next, Student versus Wild. Welcome back. After tasting success in last year's Student versus Wild project, Matamata College are again thinking up strategies to reclaim their title. I spoke with 2 of last year's team members.
Student versus Wild is a competition for Year 9 to 12 students. It is run or sponsored by Genesis Energy and the Sir Edmund Hillary Outdoor Pursuit Centre. We had to make a video about how we would survive in the wild within our school boundaries, and it had to, it's just a short video clip. And we had to say why we deserve to go to OPC and everything, so yeah.
Ah, awesome. And so Kelly, once entered, what is the process?
Okay, so the video gets uploaded onto the Student First World website, and people can go on and view the video if they wish to. And there's a 10-day period which is for voting, so you get all of the public and all your friends on Facebook to go and vote for you, and they can vote every day. And then once the voting lines have closed, so after the 10 days, then it goes to the judges, and they judge them as well, and then it's decided the winning team on 80% voting and 20% judges' decision.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
And so Emma, are there any regulations or restrictions to the video?
The video couldn't be longer than 4 minutes long. Of course, like no swearing or drug use or anything, and we had to keep it G. Other than that, we were given free reign of whatever we wanted to do. We could do whatever style video we wanted. It could be a horror, documentary, anything pretty much.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, cool. So now Kelly, you're one of the winning teams from last year. Can you reveal some of your strategies?
Oh, basically just get as many votes as you possibly can, and just basically harass all your friends to vote every day, because you know, it doesn't matter how good your video is, if you don't get the votes, it's not likely that you're going to win. So that's basically the biggest thing. Yeah.
And so what skills do you think you gained from this project?
Definitely lots of teamwork. We all had to work together and contribute to it in ourselves. I definitely got a lot of leadership skills out of it, learning to take control. If I didn't think something was right, I had to stick up for it, and it was definitely, and learning to meet new people as well and understand other people's point of views and everything.
And listening to their ideas as well was a big thing, like, because you're so used to doing tasks on your own that when you've got other people, it was like, oh, have to listen to them as well. So.
Yeah.
And did you have any challenges that you had to face?
Keeping everyone on task was really hard, because there was 10 of us and no teacher, so we had to be very independent and try and do everything by ourselves. And especially when it got late and people started getting tired and they couldn't be bothered, so no, that was the biggest thing. Yeah. Also editing, because we had to do it in our lunch hour, and so trying to get all the editing done by the time that had been set was very difficult.
Yeah. Now, it's coming up again this year, so how and when can people vote for it?
Oh, basically when it comes up, the school will let you know if you've got a team, and you just go onto the site, which is www.studentversewild.co.nz, and you just click on which team you want to vote for. So.
Wonderful. Now, Emma, tell us about the prizes that the 7 teams going to win, and whereabouts you guys are heading off to.
We did win a scholarship to the Sir Edmund Hillary Outdoor Pursuit Centre. The scholarship was worth $7,142, very exact.
Yeah.
And we are going to the Great Barrier Island Centre, and we're looking forward to it. So our whole team is going there, 10 of us. So there's going to be lots of kayaking and swimming and rock climbing and camping.
Yeah. And tell me what you're looking forward to most about it.
The abseiling off, it's like off a waterfall cliff thing, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
The camping, the outdoor, the overnight camping, just by ourselves.
Oh, it sounds amazing. So if other schools are looking at entering this year, how can they get involved, and what tips would you like to give them?
Oh, basically just talk to your PE teachers and get a team together, and keep an eye out on the Student Verse Wild page just to check when it's coming up, and then just get your video in on time.
Okay.
Yeah. And definitely get everyone involved.
Yeah.
So tell us about your video that you presented.
I think our video was quite cliche about how we did everything. It was really obvious as to what was going to happen. I think we had quite a humorous group, so we really wanted to make that obvious.
Yeah. We started off with an experiment in the science lab, and it blew up and it was radioactive, and so we all had to stay at school until we were, I suppose, cleaned of all the radiation poisoning. So yeah, it started there, and we couldn't get out, and there were people barricading all the doors, and so basically we had to find water from the swimming pool, and
we were hunting
the
for,
rubber ducks.
the rubber ducks and everything, so it was quite cool.
Yeah.
Eating grass.
Yeah. Philip ate grass, it was quite strange.
Yeah, so.
And were there any unique ideas that from some of the other schools that you quite liked?
One of the schools did a documentary on how to survive in the wild. I thought that was real cool. I think they got the most votes overall.
Yeah.
So
And a
everyone seemed
team,
to like that.
a team around Taupo did one of all the volcanoes blowing up, and so I don't know how they did it. They had the whole school shaking and things, and that was very cool.
For more information, check out www.studentversuswild.co.nz. Up next, the Rescue Helicopters Open Day. If you have just joined us, welcome back to Central News. Now, most of us hope not to see the inside of a rescue helicopter, but the Trustpower Tech Helicopter Open Day will allow you to minus the emergency.
The Open Day is it's an annual event. It just gives the community a chance to come and talk to us, see the helicopter, and visit. It is a community-funded thing. They get to hear the helicopter flying over on a daily basis, and they get to see us from afar, so it gets them the chance to come and see it up close.
And Bill, what entertainment will there be?
Oh, we've got face painting for the kids. There'll be a balloon expert, I believe, coming along and building all sorts of things out of balloons. The opportunity to ride on the winch simulator to give people a sort of a feeling of what it may be like. Face painting, I've mentioned. Number of activities for family.
So why does Trustpower Tech Rescue Helicopter have these open days?
So the question before, it's to give the community a chance to come and talk to us, and as well as all the other emergency services that we work with the USAR. A lot of those guys have been down to Christchurch, so they'll have quite a few stories about that, and it's just a good opportunity for everyone to just come and say hi and bring their children.
And you could actually be in to win a ride in the helicopter. Tell us about that.
Yes, this year we've got a colouring competition around the schools around the area. There's a colouring in competition sent to them, and so there's a draw. I think it's about 11 o'clock on the day, and it gets the opportunity for 4 people to go for a ride in the helicopter at a later date when it can suit them.
So what will some of the other emergency services be doing on the day? Yeah,
so we have them, they come along to the open day itself. We've got the AOS, the Armed Defenders guys, doing a display with their guns, dogs. Also got the fire service and ambulance working in conjunction for a set-up car accident, extracting people out of there. We've got the USAR, as Todd mentioned before. We also have the surf lifesaver guys coming in, Coast Guard coming in. Hospital has a display as well. So all of the agencies that we work with as the helicopter, they come down here and can explain to people what they do and the connection that they have with the helicopter.
So how many rescues on average does the Trustpower Tech helicopter actually carry out?
Average, it's about 100 a year. Sometimes it might be 3 in a week. Sometimes we mightn't do anything for a couple of weeks. So it's hit and miss, but it's average about 100 a year.
So what does it actually cost to run the helicopter on each mission?
It's a very hard question. That one, we don't actually put it down to a cost. It costs about $1.2 million a year to run the aircraft and everything associated with it. So if you could pretty much break that up into the 100 jobs we do a year, there's training on the sideline that's not accounted for, and the actual flying itself, it's very expensive though.
Where do you guys get your funding from?
The revenue base from the, when we do the jobs like ACC, DHB, St John's and the police, there is an hourly rate, and that's about 1/3 of the cost, that 1.2 million. The next third would be the associate sponsor, which is Trustpower Tech, and the associated sponsors, which you'll see if you pan up later on the side of the helicopter, is all the associate sponsors. And the other third is groups, clubs, friends of the helicopter, which is it's something that will go through on the day as well, trying to get more people to become a friend of the helicopter. And yeah.
So the public can actually donate to the cause?
they can. On the day, they can do it any time. People come in and knock on the door at the hangar here with a check. Could be a family member they've had a family member that's been hurt, or friends, and so they've been going past and they've seen the helicopter and they've asked if they can donate, and through the friends as well. Bequests, we get donations through bequests.
And recently there have actually been quite a few rescues off the side of the mountain. Seems like a very hard place to land to me. How difficult are these missions?
Yeah, we can't land everywhere on the mount, obviously due to the terrain. And with the acquisition of the Port of Tauranga winch, it's certainly made life a lot easier for us. We work in conjunction with the surf club down there. There's been instances where people have sort of collapsed or fallen in an area that it's accessible by foot, but then you've got patient care and you need to be able to carry them out. So using the winch, we can certainly sort of speed up their delivery to hospital and get their advanced care a little bit more with medics that we can put down next to the person.
What is the most common rescue that you guys actually carry out?
A lot of it is motor vehicle accidents. We cover quite an area up to the East Cape. Quite a lot of isolated areas up there. So a lot of motor vehicle accidents with cars, trucks, motorbikes, farmers on their four-wheelers, and probably a close second to that would be trauma medical, which is up from the East Cape as well, just to the remoteness of the area and trying to get people to the hospital quickly.
And whereabouts are your actual boundaries? Like, where do you guys go?
Boundary goes from Waihao Bay up the top of the East Cape, follow the coast around through to Waihi, and sort of on a line probably halfway between here and Rotorua, sort of through to Whakatane, and we can go into like some Matamata, which is that's the Waikato area. And then having saying that, if those aircraft are being used, we're sent to those areas as well. So it's all about the patient who can get there the quickest.
Well, that is news for today. We really want you to be involved, so like us on Facebook and let us know your views. If you have any news, including your own video or photos, go to our website and hit upload. Thanks for joining us. Hilary will be back tomorrow night with more guests from in and around our regions. I'm Amy Forrest. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.